Good morning, beautiful people. On this Monday, July 19th, it is 76 degrees, partially sunny, and the humidity is gone for a moment. So um, the temperature is nice, not overly warm, and it's not raining. It's stopped raining for a moment. So we're going to take this opportunity, enjoy this day. I wish you all wonderful day today. We're going to hang out for a few minutes, see who wants to join us. Um, Everyone is welcome today. We're working on some figurative language, and I really enjoy this section. We get to look at some poems and things, and we use figurative language all the time in our normal language when speaking to each other. It makes your words come alive, basically, and it allows the person on the other end of the communication or a writing who is uh, to picture ideas in their mind. So, figurative writing is wonderful where you can insert figurative language in your writing. It definitely makes it more interesting, more mature, and when appropriate, depending on what you're writing to entertain. You may use it much more there than if you were informing. Like you're not likely to see it in a science lesson so much. So, and certain comedians are good at using figurative language too. Poets, writers, singers. That's where you may see a lot of it. So it's 11:29. Gonna wait one more moment for you lovelies to appear today. I hope everyone is well. Uh, be careful. The I'm going to talk about it again. As you know, I'm on this soapbox. This new variant is here now. It is more infectious, so more people are likely to become sick. And how does it look in terms of people who've already been vaccinated? Um, our shots right now, they're saying have pretty good protection. However, I want you to know there's another variant right behind it coming from Brazil. And funny how each one can get worse. This one is a bad boy. So the main thing about not being vaccinated is if you're an adult, you're the only not the only one in your circle who's not vaccinated. Children under 12 have not been vaccinated and they're vulnerable. And people who have immune compromised illnesses, lupus, um, cancer, any of those things are very vulnerable. Even if they've had 2 shots, they don't want to get COVID at all. You know, you don't want to be the one to bring that to your loved ones, to bring it to your home. And again, healthy people can get COVID and become very, very, very sick or die. It's just something to keep thinking about. The reasons for not doing it just they don't measure up. When you do a cost benefit analysis, it's just not measuring up. So that is I'm off back off the soapbox. So today we're talking about in reading figurative language. We are talking about metaphors today. And I have a photo that I wanted to start with to share with you when we talk about metaphors. And this is something I'm sure, oh, it didn't, oh, stop sharing. Let's try this again. There we go. This is something I think you've heard this one. She's walking around with her head in the clouds. So she doesn't really have her head in the clouds, but when we say that, we all pretty much understand what we mean. Someone who is just not rooted in reality, right? Could be a dreamer, or could be someone that's a little not quite within. the space of being adjusted, right? Um, so that is a metaphor to have your head in the clouds. So let's take a look at what we talk about when we talk about metaphors. A metaphor. Oh, oh, what happened there? Where'd you go? Let's try you again. A metaphor is a comparison between two different things without using the word like or as. We just say something is. So, one of my teachers once told me that the greater the difference between the two things being compared, the better the metaphor. And so, this is an idea that I've come to appreciate. For example, when asked to create a metaphor, a student once wrote, "Football is baseball." Okay, you're comparing two things, but what does that mean? Football is baseball. The comparison is too similar, right? They're both sports, they're team sports. Um, there's an objective to um, gain more points over the other team. We have different things like that. But let's take a look at another metaphor. Um, Football is chess. hmm If somebody says football is chess, these are things that are really unlike until you start to examine them, right? Well, the object of football is to advance the ball the down the field till you make the goal, while also um, protecting, playing a defensive game and an offensive game while protecting the person who throws the ball. You have all of these other people on the field that have a specific function. And so with chess, the object is to do the same, to move your parts to the opponent's end, and while making smart or strategic moves to block or advance. So you are playing offensive and a defensive game at the same time and using strategies. Football is it's a game of strength and duration and endurance, but it's also a game using strategy and mental skills. So now let's take a look at some other metaphor examples. The cast on Michael's broken leg was a plaster shackle. So to call it a plaster shackle, is that normally how we think a shackle is, like we think of a shackle on the leg as something that, um, what is the word I'm trying to use? To restrain you, a restraint. Um, and a cast, in a way, is a restraint, right? It keeps you from being as mobile or as um, what is the other word? Not being as mobile or being as um, having the ability to move easily. Let's look at another one and probably can relate to this one. She was just a trophy to Ricardo, another object to possess. She was a trophy. I think we know what that means, right? When you call someone a trophy wife, sometimes they're younger, they're more attractive, they are something to covet rather than to appreciate them for their own individuality. The path of resentment is easier to travel than the road to forgiveness. We think about that. Traveling a road, and it's easier to harbor a grudge than it is to forgive and let it go, right? Some of us, as a matter of fact, are stuck in that right now. And really, when we harbor resentment and we harbor grudges, it's not hurting the other person. 9 times out of 10, they don't even know. Let's keep going. Waves of spam inundated his mailbox. Waves of spam. That's the word. And then the last one that I like, her eyes were fireflies. What I don't know if you've ever noticed this, but if you look at the eyes of young children when they play, they have so much joy and their eyes are lit up. It's just wonderful to watch. And so that makes me think of that specifically about babies or children. So, what is the purpose of metaphors? They help us to understand the world. They help us communicate and understand each other. And they make for great poetry too. And there is an attached worksheet where I will want you to create your own metaphorical phrases. But before we do that, let's take a look at the cartoon here. Metaphors are a comparison in which one thing is said to be another. For example, she is a walking dictionary. When we call someone a walking dictionary, they have all of these words, they maybe use big words, have a great understanding, and we call them that. So, what I'd like to do next is take a look at a poem, very short poem, which is a wonderful metaphor. And then we'll examine it for a moment and do the homework. So the poem was written by Langston Hughes, who was a poet, novelist, fiction writer, and a playwright. And he wrote colorful, insightful portrayals of Black life in America from the 20s through the 60s and was important in shaping the artistic contributions of the Harlem Renaissance, which took place in the 20s. This poem, and this is a picture of Langston, and this poem is called Dreams. He lived from 1902 to 1967. So imagine the things that he saw take place in his environment. And here he is advising us, hold fast to dreams, for if dreams die, life is a broken winged bird that cannot fly. Hold fast to dreams, for when dreams go, life is a barren field frozen with snow. So, in this poem, Langston is giving us advice because he's trying to tell you what would happen if you don't hold on to your dreams. So, he says, if the dreams die, if you let your dreams die, then life is a broken winged bird that cannot fly. So, when we think about a broken winged bird, well, the bird can't lift off of the ground, which the bird was intended to do. The bird can't see the can't see everything down below, all of the earth and the heavens, right? So life is a broken winged bird that cannot fly. Hold on to your dreams because if those dreams go, life is a barren field frozen with snow. So on the field, on the ground, it's hard, it's cold, it's not, you cannot penetrate it, and it's just covered with snow. There's no life there, nothing can grow there. So, this is what he is saying to us about our dreams, why they're so important that you try to hold on to your dreams because it gives you no place to go, right? If the ground is frozen and doesn't grow and you can't see the heavens, then that's pretty dismal life. So that is the metaphor of life, right? Really is. So now let's take a look at our worksheet. Go back over here and our metaphor worksheet. I'm going to wrap this up. Okay, that's not the worksheet. Where are you? Oh, there we go. Write a metaphor. So it's very simple. There are 6, and you're going to write a metaphor using each pair of words. So here's the first one is heart and rainbow. My heart was a rainbow. So you're going to say it is, are, was. So if your heart is a rainbow, it's, what do we think about rainbows? They're big, they cover the whole horizon, their color, they come after the rain. And so your heart um, is open. It's beautiful, right? It's capable of feeling beautiful things. So now when we think about anger and fire, his anger would quickly burst into fire. That's mine. It's not great. But if you think of think of someone with a quick temper, right? His anger would quickly burst into fire. So I'm going to type that. And then I really, 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 really want you to do all the rest of them on your own. Oh, okay. What happened here? Anger and fire. Anger quickly burst into fire. Quickly become a raging fire. Like that, you really don't want to be around him too much, do you? This anger would quickly become a raging fire. Oops, got too happy there. I'm going to stop there. I'm going to let you complete this. Let me know how you do with it. And really, there's no right there. The thing about this is there is no right or wrong. I'm just going to make these little corrections here. I don't know why that happened, but there we go. That's all there is to that. So you all take care. I will see you tomorrow.